now women care about men mental health. No, we don't. No, we don't.
Yeah, we know a lot of you don't care. Subscribe. Let's talk about it.
Seen a post that said now women care about men mental health. No, we don't. No, we don't. Who said that? I'll be the bad guy. I'm here to tell you the truth. You're not fighting mental health. You're fighting accountability. You're fighting the things that you did in the past that you don't want to own up to. You're fighting the voices in your head that your mama put there ever since you was a little boy, trying to enable you your whole life. Now you got to face it in the real world. And I'm going to tell you the truth. Stop it. You're faking. Stop it. You're not fighting demons. You're fighting yourself. You're fighting your own consequences. Please.
So, on a serious note, we understand how dangerous it is when you make these generalizations to what men are saying, especially when men are being more open, more candid about their mental health. And when men often say they're fighting demons, a lot of it has to do with how the world sees them, how the world interprets them, that no matter what you do as a man, as a black man, the first response you're usually going to get is one that's kind of tinged with violence and fear, disrespect, sometimes flat out racism. But you've done everything in your life right. You've walked that narrow path. You stayed out of prison. You don't even swear. You don't conform to any of the things that they label you as, but they constantly do. And sometimes by no fault of your own. It's just when you open up an app, when you go into a bank, when you go into a store, when you're followed, when you're profiled, when you're pulled over and your heart rate spikes. These are things that can be labeled as demons. These are things that affect us in reality. Imagine going out there and really thinking the world is actively against you, that there's a concerted effort to make sure you remain less than a man. When you go to work, when you go out in life and you have to put in extra effort, you just can't be a man. You have to be a better man to be considered part of the group. And even then, begrudgingly so, unless you knock it out the park and you somehow rise to the top. And even then, they'll question how you do it. If we go further, part of these fighting demons is sometimes you walk that path, you walk that line to the point where the other community won't accept you. Your own community won't accept you. You're not black enough. You don't speak like us. You don't move like us. You don't care about the same movies, music, food like us. So now you're not enough of us. It's a trial, right? If we can speak candidly, it's a trial. And when we see takes like this, almost every year you see more and more women coming along here saying, yeah, no, we don't care. We don't care. And this goes beyond simply a race thing. You say you don't care, despite the staggering facts of what the cause or what the effect of this mental health crisis is on men, is on people. Despite the staggering amount of self-deletions, despite that doesn't seem to matter to you. It's only when it comes in and affects you, then it's something important. Then it's something for us to take a step back and sort of say, oh, wow, no, we should treat you with kid gloves. We should show up for you in the ways that you want us to. This is not something that I think when you see takes like this, it goes beyond just something as simple as, well, there's healthy men and not so healthy men. All the men feel something similar. It's the coping mechanisms that we have available to us. It's for those of us that have done some work or weren't so poorly affected when we were younger. How is it that boy's fault, that man's fault, because his mother hurt him or didn't protect him in an environment? Even if he had a father in his life, even if he had two parents that were married, that does not simply protect him from the rest of the world. Those that have been essayed, those that even have been indoctrinated into, having sex early because an older woman took advantage of them. You look at that and you laugh at that. You write that off as saying it's nothing. It's nothing. Even when you see men talking about, oh, you're lucky, that's masking pain for a lot of them. When you look at their life outcomes, you see how it truly derailed where they could have been, where they are now. It's ridiculous to laugh at something like that. When you see how many men end up homeless, it's ridiculous to laugh at something like that. But, and again, I want to express this. I don't think this is the majority. I don't think this is majority, right? I never really think this is majority. I think it's important to highlight when people speak like this online, because it seems like it's so easy for an idea to become like this mind virus and take over. You don't do enough thinking on your own to filter out a lot of nonsense, and you take that and you repeat it and you go forth. Then you want to turn around, right? It wasn't a couple months ago where you were talking about how much women are being hurt, being killed by men that look like them. You don't think that's mental health? You don't think that's a crisis of mental health? It matters then. It's important then. When you see women coming along saying it's so difficult, so hard in life to survive, that's mental health. That's you crying out for help, for assistance. You want a community so badly. What is your community supposed to look like? As long as it's devoid of men who have any type of issues, who have any type of problems. Again, we look at this and we focus on this because we start getting curious. We start asking or saying, why don't men do all these things emotionally with us? Why are we not a safe space for our men? Well, maybe you don't say this outright. Maybe you're not one of these people online screaming like, yo, we don't care about your mental health. But when you turn around and say nothing about a man's mental health, when you simply say you need to improve, you need to be better, if you don't have this, then you're not enough. Imagine hearing that constantly. Imagine hearing that constantly from the time you were young to the time you become a man. Imagine how that works into your psyche. That's either going to motivate you to do more, and that's very few and far between, or it's going to be a constant thumb on you. How can we have conversations today pretending as if the path of a man is so smooth and so perfectly that why are they not coming back and helping us? Why are they not showing up for us in the ways that matter? If you understand, or if you care to understand the crisis affecting men in terms of their mental health, you would understand some people don't have the capacity to do anything for you. Surviving is a joy. Surviving is an accomplishment. Now you look at it, how does it show up interpersonally? You're the one suffering from that. You're the one suffering from poor partners because they lack impulse control, because something happened to them when they're younger. But it's laughable. You think it's fighting demons when they say you haven't dealt with that. A lot of us are new to the mental health game. My generation, us millennials, started becoming more and more familiar with it, but that doesn't mean there's wide, adoption of this. More so, most of the therapists out there are going to be skewed towards women. So you have women coming there trying to tell men how to be better by talking them through it. And some of these men, that's not what they need. Some of those men actually have ailments where that actually needs to be treated, but that gets masked as ADHD, that gets masked as conflict disorder, that gets masked in some of these other ways that happen. And before you get a chance at any type of intervention, law's involved. So when you laugh at men's mental health and then you turn around the next month or the next week and start complaining about men not showing up, at some point you have to understand, we're just going to say, shut the hell up. Shut the hell up. Do what is necessary for you in your life. If you do not care enough about men, go on, decenter us, do whatever you have to do. At the very least, all we can ask for you, just leave us alone. If you disagree, let me know down in the comments below. If you see other videos on your screen, check those out. Let me know your thoughts about those in those videos. And of course, if you listen to my voice now and you have not subscribed, I think you should.